Boy, oh boy. Let's get back. Yes. Welcome on into the Barbershop. Your boy G. Bush. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about today. I want to just make me known that you can follow me at GBush91 on Twitter or X, whatever you're going to call it. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for me, making sure that you make the Barbershop a big part of what we do here at UCSS, right? You know, a lot of people reach out to me in the beginning and say, yo, G. Bush, we want you on more. I'm just giving you more opportunities to catch the unique content, to catch the wave, the vibe that I'm giving. And let me just tell you this. This over here ain't for everybody. We represent the Kool-Aid Mafia over here. And in the Kool-Aid Mafia, we think a little different. Like we a little bit, you know, we think a little different. We explain things a little different. So, you know, this might not be for everybody. I try to tell you the truth. And I try to do it in a thought-provoking way. And the great thing about this over here, if you would disagree with me, I don't call you names. If you disagree with me, I don't cut you off the air or the radio. If you disagree with me, I'm not going to be like, man, you dummy. If you disagree with me, all I ask, you formulate your opinion, I formulate my opinion, and we talk about it via chat or wherever you want to go. And that's, I give you the most time in the city. If you're on the radio, I give you the most time. I give you the most time here. I'm on 2 days a week on UCSS. I do UCSS 5 days a week. You know how we give it up. And I still run the Barbershop. And I still make sure you check out the Barbershop, G. Bush and the Barbershop. Make sure you subscribe to that too. So I do a lot of things, and that's just because I'm passionate about my craft, passionate about what we do, and passionate about my sports team. Shout out to Maggie McNuggets and those dudes over there for doing the live stream. I'm really glad. And let me just start up by saying this too. I'm really happy and excited that Tegna and the UCSS hierarchy, I love what they do because they give guys opportunities. They just don't put Mike, Anthony, Earl, some of these talented dudes, they don't just put them to the side and say, make these graphics and do that. I'm glad they got behind the glass. I'm a person that's always watching and supporting them. Make sure you support over there. And the reason I say that is you need diversity of thought. Like some of these stations you get in networks and places, everybody sound the same way. Everybody sounding the same way. Everybody sound the same. Everybody do the same. Over here, we got our own mind. We got our own process. We got our own way we thinking. And they rewarded them dudes for doing that. And I'm glad that we step in our basketball coverage. I think there's going to be a big year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I like what they're doing. I'm a big fan of some of the young guys they got. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do. This channel is always going to be, you know, really heavy on the Browns because that's what we is. But don't get it twisted. We're still gonna make our beans and make our waves with the Cavs as well with that season coming up. So expect to see Cavs content on here and Cavs different thought process when the games start. So this just isn't just a Browns eccentric type podcast here on the Barbershop. We're gonna start to roll into some different things, some current events in different places as well. But first, we got to get to what we're going to get to. So coming up on today's show, of course, we will talk to you guys, question and answer. Get your chats ready. Get your Q&A ready. We can super chat. We could do all of that stuff. Make sure you get your questions ready because I want to read your questions. It doesn't have to be about the Browns. It could be Q&A. It could be questions about myself. We could do that. If you want to skip the line, super chat, get your chat and question and answer ready to go. Coming up in the show, we'll talk about the offensive line issues. I think there's something brewing with the O-line. And this is going to be one of those blogs where we talk about some of the things. This is a report card time. You know how your kids get a report card every 9 weeks, but they get an interim report? This is kind of my little interim report when it comes to breaking down the Cleveland Browns and saying what they need to get better. I think the offensive line has a couple issues that we need to examine. Watson's shoulder. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not too hype. I can't do it. I'm not too hype on it. I think his shoulder is going to be something we're going to have to look at for the rest of the year. something that's going to be needed to be maintenance. Not being negative about it. I'm just giving you from my perspective. And I'll tell you why that's something we're going to have to look at. Deshaun Watson's shoulder. But before we can get into that, let's get into our first topic of the day. Let's get into Kevin Stefanski. And let's get out to this. I believe that Kevin Stefanski left DTR out to dry. And I was on UCSS, and me and Bull had a good spirit. Shout out to Bull, by the way. Make sure you go subscribe to his Adam the Bull. Make sure you subscribe to his podcast as well, The Bullpen. We had a conversation, and the reason why I was so adamant about Kevin Stefanski is we've had a large body of work from Kevin Stefanski. And sometimes I don't understand why people in any other walk of life could understand certain things. But when it comes to athletes, when it comes to coaches, when it comes to sports, we kind of put that in its own little box over here, but we can't understand that it's about management, it's about people skills, it's about making sure that guys understand what they're doing and giving your employees the best chances to win. I'm going to give you an example here. I remember, and I always often go back to corporate America because corporate America, to me, is the closest thing to being cutthroat as it is in the football area, right? I played football, and at the highest level of playing football, one of the things they understand is a business, and they'll get rid of you for any reason. In corporate America, it's all about making money, and it's the bottom line. Are you making goal or you're not? And so there was times where I'd go in and we would be tasked with hiring for certain positions. And I would say, well, these are the metrics that we want. These are the qualifications that we want. We want a college degree. We want to make sure that, that person has a good track record, 3 to 5 years experience in a good place. Do you have any medical records? Do you have any medical, degrees or what? Just all these qualifications. And one of the things that our HR recruiter told us, she brought us all in the room, and she kept sending us guys. And we're like, what? Why you keep sending? This person's not qualified. We send them back. This person's not qualified. Send them back. I had an interview with her. I don't know. Interview with him didn't work out. I had a second interview with him, but so it got to a point where we had to have this position filled, and we were supposed to have it filled 2 months ago. But everybody that was in management, that was recruiting, that was actually out here doing the interviewing, we didn't see anybody we thought we liked. They were getting on us because our attrition rate was over a certain amount. And in corporate America, they have attrition rates where it's like, okay, well, why are these people not staying here? And the HR director brought us all in the room. She said, listen, guys, I don't know what you guys have been told, but listen here. The way things are set up in corporate America, you're not going to get A players all the time. You're rarely going to get B players. If you're lucky, you keep your B players. The A players that you have or develop into A players or hire that are A players, they know they're A players. What does that mean? They know that they have the background. They know that they have the know-all, the know-it-all to do the job. They know that they're going to get there and progress. They know they got a good track record of success. So when you get those A players in there, you better enjoy them because you might have them for 6 months. And then they're going to go somewhere else and you're going to have to pay them premium dollar. At this role and at this slot, we can't afford to pay guys that top-notch dollar. So you're going to lose A players. You roll up and you develop your B players, and hopefully they can get to A players. And then you're going to have to hire C players. Maybe the person has a degree. Yeah, I don't know about the attitude. Maybe the person don't have a degree, but the attitude is great. Maybe a person really does not have any experience in that role, but they got shining recommendations for their last employer. What I'm saying is, and I say that to say this, where you make your money at in this world is not with the A players. Where you win in this world is not even necessarily with the B players. The money is where you at with the C players. The guys that you got in late round, the guys that you need to play when your quarterback is out, the guys that you don't really necessarily know anything about, but you could plug and play them. Are you getting guys that you can move? How many guys have you moved from a C player to a B player? How many guys that are still existing on your roster are a B player to A player? And one problem that we got with Kevin Stefanski is this. When we talk about his elevation of different places and pieces and parts and all of that good stuff, we keep giving him credit for keeping bad players medium. When you say we maximize Baker Mayfield. Did he? Really? We could go back and we could argue that. Last time I checked, he didn't win that playoff game. When you say all of this stuff is, oh, he's been doing this, he schemes people open. Really? I haven't seen it. This Elijah Moore playbook, where was that at? And when I look at this playbook and I look at what it was supposed to be and how it was supposed to move, and I got a clip here from Jake Burns. Shout out to the Orange and Brown Report. I really respect Jake, what he does, because he breaks down all 22. I always tell people, listen, if somebody's telling you what don't count and what don't count, you ask them, how many all 22 games you work? How many tapes you done seen with that? Because that counts too. So I think some people be arguing and you ain't put the due diligence in. If you ain't watched these games 2-3 times, you can't tell me your opinion is see, this is why G. Bush, so why they don't give you a full-time show. You can't say that. Dirty. If you just watching the game once and going to sleep, that don't count. And when I'm watching it, I asked Jake, I said, Jake, I texted him this morning. It was on my mind. I said, Jake, I don't understand. Where did this playbook come from? This massive change your life playbook from Stefan. He said, G. Bush, besides the trick gadget plays, it's the same offense. And he watches film for a living. I had to go see, sometimes you got to go check with somebody. See, my opinion ain't first and foremost bigger than you. I checked with an offensive coordinator in college that loves the Brown. I checked with him. I said, hey, let me look at this. Look at this all 22 for me and let me know what difference is it from what we were running before. He said, so crazy, G. Bush. I was laughing and talking to wide receivers coach about that. Browns running the same thing. And so when you look at this, man, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors involved with what they're doing. And when you got DTR out there as a rookie and you refuse to run the football, and I'm gonna leave you on this. Because we about 13 minutes in. I like to keep these things really cute and concise. When you run the ball 14 times and you say, well, we couldn't run the ball, so we abandoned it. The run game is like a marriage. You gotta be tried and true to that thing. You ain't gonna get something. Listen, this ain't a girlfriend. You gotta stay with the run game. I watched Bill Belichick run the ball 50 times because it was windy against the Buffalo Bills a couple years ago. And let me tell you this too. My problem with arguing this thing, whether the run is there or what's the run or how the run is, all this, here's my problem with really arguing with people with that. Is because this is not the first time we've seen this with Kevin Stefanski. This isn't the first time that myself, has been on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show barking back and forth with people on why would you have Nick Chubb not in the game? Why would you not have him in here? Why are you bringing Jacoby Brissett off the sideline to throw a corner route? Why are you running tight end reverses? Why are you running the reverse yesterday with Elijah Mitchell when he's running around like it's a playground back here getting tackled for? Why are you doing flea flicker reverse passes with a DTR? Why you come out in 5 wide? And why, when it's negative 40 degrees outside, you throw the ball 40 times with Deshaun Watson when you had Nick Chubb and you lost to a dome team for the New Orleans Saints by Andy Dalton, and guess what they did? Run the ball. So you don't get a reprieve this year and say, well, this isn't it's a one-off. It isn't a one-off, it's a pattern of behavior. When I'm arguing with you about why you're not using Nick Chubb more, and you tell me I want him to keep him around 18 rushes, now you see what your game is when you don't have Nick Chubb. And that leads me right into my next section. Before we get to the section, let's get a couple of comments here. Got to get a couple comments in here. Let's get it. We're going to talk to the people. DeAndre Black. Kevin, I don't run the ball, Stefanski. He got so many names now. His name game is on 100. First and foremost, let me get this off here. His name game is on 100, my G. G. Bush, what are the chances we get Judy? Scott, I appreciate the call. My problem is this with saying what are we going to get and how we going to go get him. The problem is this. They, to me, feel like they have the pieces and parts at receiver. And you heard me today, UCSS, I don't necessarily think our receivers are elite. Could they be serviceable? Sure, they could be serviceable. But that means Kevin Stefanski would have to elevate his game, which I haven't seen him elevate his game. And by the way, where's Cedric Tillman at? Somebody tell me where Cedric Tillman is at. I think Mo Better One says, I think the biggest thing is not giving any credit is to Lamar Jackson. He's the MVP right now, but no one wants to say it. Comment coming from a real Brown supporter. Listen, hey, Mo Better, listen. He killed. Listen. Look, I give them credit. I give Lamar Jackson credit. He threw one of the best footballs I've ever seen thrown that was over Denzel Ward, right over the out-reaching hands, and Andrews caught it in the back of the end zone where he could touch it. I thought he showed his athleticism when he got rid of Myles Garrett on the throw on the right-hand side, threw it off the run, perfectly thrown football. Listen, the thing I respect about the Ravens is this. The Ravens did one thing. You look at what they do. That was a Ravens-esque 15-19. 2 touchdowns on the ground, 2 touchdowns in the air. He threw the ball 19 times. You go over to DTR, he threw the ball 36 times. You say, well, G. Bush, they were down. Well, yeah, you throwing the ball early will get you down. Hey, yo, AB Breaks, you just said what I've been saying for years, just a lot more eloquently. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. DPJ don't want to block. I haven't seen DPJ. I've seen him catch the ball a few times. I have not seen him make that much of a big stink of things. I just haven't. Let's get this one, man. Poised for duty. Time to let Alex Van Pelt call the plays. I don't think Kevin feels he would have anything to do if he let someone else take the play calls. See, this is the thing. This happens sometimes, and let me know if you understand this. Have you ever had a group of friends, and you have a group of friends who are really, tight-knit in group, like, and you say, okay, one of y'all is really good at bowling. So every time y'all go on bowling night, you be dusting people off. One person is really good at Scrabble. So he's dope at Scrabble. One person is the best spades player you've ever seen. You think this dude just got all of the spades all the time. He's great, right? And then you got one friend who's not necessarily good at anything. But to him, his best thing is this. He feels his best thing in the world is Jeopardy. And every time you watch Jeopardy, he gets no questions right. He be answering all out of turn, screaming over, Baker. No, that's wrong. Like screaming over everybody. And then he says, well, you guys are good at those things, but I'm good at this. And you're looking like, well, actually, I'm actually better at Scrabble. I'm better at everything than you. You just can't say to you can't give yourself that because you're really not that good. It's just like Stefanski. He's like, I'm the best to call the plays. I understand what I'm supposed to be. No, Kevin. You're not the best to call the plays. Actually, you're below average. I'm not going to say he's terrible. He's below average. It is what it is. Is what it is. Let's get to the first break here. Make sure we got this. We go get to the first break here. When we come back, we will let you know that it's not only the offense with play calling. I'm kind of freaked out about Deshaun Watson's shoulder. I'm a little scared about it. We'll come back and talk about it next here on the Barbershop on the UCSS YouTube channel. As always, you know how we give it up here. We do our best to say salute. Thank you for our Patreon members. And we definitely shout these individuals out: Greg Smith, Amari Spence, Robert Norman Sr., Bradley Thomas Bruns, Gail Mayo, Spencer Mahone, Aaron Brandon, Russell Edwards, Timothy Tyree, Anthony G. Perry, and Howard Vanisel. They've been supporting the Barbershop. We appreciate you guys supporting on the Patreon channel. If you want to support the Barbershop on Patreon, it will be below in the comment section. You can click the button along with the opportunity to click on and catch all the Barbershop gear you can catch at bushlinebeauty.com. That'll be linked in the description as well. But we always want to say thank you to our Patreon members, and we thank you for supporting the Barbershop. Welcome back to the Barbershop here on UCSS. Just want to let you know that our normal time is usually 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. Sorry about that. But we had our live with Cav Media's Day. Shout out to Brad Sellers, the OG Brad. Shout out to Earl. And McNuggets, of course, being down there. And shout out to the Cavaliers for having us, man. We made so many inroads so far this year. We've been able to get interviews. We've been able to have media access. And we want to thank those guys for giving us that access as well. Let's get back to it. We've been talking a little bit about the Browns' loss, 28-3, and I think there's some red flags that have been coming up with the Cleveland Browns, and I just wanted to kind of talk about them. And here's the thing: when I talk about red flags, I'm talking about things that could be fixed, things that I've seen, or things that are glaring to me. But this doesn't mean that the Browns are going to be trash and they can't do what they need to do to get back on track. That this is just what any healthy team does. This is what any good healthy organization does during the bye week. They're doing the same thing that I'm doing right now, taking a look at the film, reevaluating, self-scouting, getting back on track, trying to find different ways that they can get better and to fix some of these things. But one of the things that I am kind of concerned about, because I do and have had so many surgeries, is I'm kind of concerned about Deshaun Watson. The Deshaun Watson issue, after he said that he was going to play, and then he turned out not playing, here's an issue. When that happens, I'm glad, first of all, the Browns didn't play him, because every player is going to tell you that. Every player is going to say, in the back of their mind, they're thinking about this. All right, well, I really can't throw a football right now. I probably can't even run right now, but it's Friday. So let me get some treatment on Saturday. Let me ice it down, get as much treatment as I can, stay in the facility. I'm going to live in there today. Sunday, I'm going to get to the facility early. I'm going to get a shot. I'm going to get me some cortisone in my system. I'm going to ice it down. I'm going to work it out. And then guess what I'm going to get? I'm going to get that Sunday adrenaline. I'm going to get that Sunday bump like, oh, it's game time. It's nothing like that adrenaline, right? You cannot be able to walk, and all of a sudden you get to the field, you're ready to go. That adrenaline is different. So what you counting on is I got that shot. I got some painkillers in my system. Plus I'm hyped and ready to go. It's game time. I'll be able to, grunt my way through it. And when he got there, it didn't work. I done been there. You get there and you go to do your thing and you don't quite fire out. Your muscles ain't hitting. My thing is, they said it was not a structural thing and it wasn't about pain. The scary thing for me is, I don't like this when your regular shoulder, and I don't like that he couldn't throw the ball over a certain yardage. Anything 10 to 12 yards, he couldn't throw the rock. That's troubling to me for two reasons. Necessarily, you might not be able to get in there right now, and it's a thing where it's a problem, where something is structurally wrong. But if you have a weakness in your throwing arm, there's nerves involved with that too. Trust me, I have neck surgery. I take nerve pills daily. I get injections. The nerves in your arm, if they're not firing the way they're supposed to fire, there's nothing you could do about that. It don't got to be about the fluid. It don't have to be about none of that. And that's the scary thing for me is you get there and it just didn't have the the velocity on it. And guess what? It ain't even cold yet. Ain't nobody hit you yet. You didn't get drove down to the turf yet. It's still warm and short sleeve weather right now. I think this thing is going to be touch and go the rest of the season. It just is what it is. And you look at no further than look what the Cincinnati Bengals dealing with. Joe Burrow was playing like hot garbage. And I'm sure that they thought during the first part of the season, he was going to be ready to go. And some people said, do you sit him against the Cleveland Browns? And then lo and behold, the Cleveland Browns was not playing with him. Now that's a thing throughout the rest of the season. That is not going to heal unless the season is over. It's just one of those things. And so for me, people may think that, oh, G. Bush, you're going off the rails with this. He'll be back and ready to go. And there's no, listen to this. It's hard. What the NFL does to your body is extremely hard. I didn't even make it to the highest level. And I got permanent damage in multiple areas of my body. I have a scar, and I'm a defensive lineman. I was bigger than everybody. It wasn't like I was a quarterback or skill position getting punished. I was doing the punishing, and I still got hurt. So my thing is this, man. When I talk about, and a lot of people say, dang, G. Bush, you're doing too much. You talk about bringing in veterans and all this other stuff. He'll be good. Listen, man, once again, this is a big boy league, and this is big boy consequences. If my job's on the line, I'm coming with every contingency plan. As fans, we got the ability to have blind faith in certain things. When your job is on the line and you got millions of dollars invested, no. Give me a veteran here. Because I'm looking around and I'm looking at the DTR situation and I'm just keeping it a buck with you. There's no, I'm confused by this. Why is everybody feeling like just because they made him the backup quarterback because he played well in the preseason, that you have to blindly stick with that to save some sort of moral, like I don't care about saving face. I can look at something and tell it ain't wrong. Listen, when you get new information, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Everybody now want to double down on something. I was right. Bro, you don't get no money for saying you was right. I've been right a whole lot of times. They don't give me not one more penny at UCSS that I be right. That foolish pride to get you every time. I saw what I saw. And that ain't gonna get it done against the 49ers. It is no water off your back to say, you know what? let me dial up one of these veterans. Let me holler at one of these veterans real quick. Come on now. I just hope that Deshaun Watson, this ain't it. I hope he comes back. He don't have no issues, no problems. But I'm old enough to remember when Cam Newton just had a shoulder injury and was done. Just was finished. We ain't saying that's what it is. I'm just saying you got to take precautions. You got to take precautions and at a very high level when it comes to things like this. What do you say? Y'all think I'm crazy? Where we at with it? Let's see. Let me see. I got to get to this. The counter renders from hey, sir, have you been watching film? Listen, let's find out who this Mo Better one is. Let me find out that he's out here got the archives. You sound like you've been watching film. The counter run misdirection was hurting the Browns, but damn, they was back on the field in 4 plays watching offense go backwards. Something to be aware of moving forward. The counter play, watch that the rest of the year. That was brilliant play calling. They saw how fast flowing that defensive line and linebackers is. They was screaming to the sideline, any action. And you know what they did? Turned around and ran the counter right back, led up in the hole. Lamar Jackson walked in the end zone. Then they turned around and did the quarterback lead, led with the running back. He walked in the end zone. Trust me, you can run that play with a running back. That is just not a mobile quarterback play. Great observation. Great observation. Let's keep it moving. Rob Watson says, anyone give the Browns a chance in hell if Watson doesn't play versus 49ers? Not with the way Stefanski calling it. Zero. Stefanski would have to call the game of his life with DTR, and he's not up for that. Let's be clear. Let's not make the excuses for the defense. They were terrible in the second quarter, missed tackles everywhere, gave up second and 29. That second and 29 play pissed me off. And I'm going to say this too. Missed a lot of tackles, Todd. A lot of tackles, Todd. JOK missed a lot of tackles. I saw Martin Emerson missing some tackles. It was very nasty. Nasty work. I didn't like it. I didn't think that they played up to that standard. I thought the runs hurt them a little bit. I thought they had some holes, and I think they out-schemed us a little bit. Yeah. Hey, look, constructive criticism. Ain't it, Mr. Lee? I appreciate that. Let's get a couple more in here. Let me get a couple more about this Watson thing. YL Yahassan says Watson should have played. If until the game time was questionable means he could have played. He paid $250 million to play to win. Baker played with the shoulder problem and didn't get paid as half. Hey, so let me drill down on this because I think this is a good point. I've always said Baker Mayfield cost himself a whole lot of money. He should have sat. He thought, and this is the thing, that old school approach to, you got to tough it out. That's not the way it goes anymore. Because here's the thing. If Deshaun Watson toughs it out, goes out there against the Baltimore Ravens and really messes his shoulder up and it's his throwing shoulder, we are screwed. You know why? If they goes out there and they lose that game and he's done for the season, that means we have DTR and nobody else. We're going to lose multiple games. We're going to be trash. Kevin Stefanski is going to get fired. There's a good chance Andrew Berry gets fired. There's a good chance that Myles Garrett is traded to recoup some of the assets given away in the Deshaun Watson deal. They'll probably try to get a number one for him. Nick Chubb will not be re-signed. They will cut. They're going to make sure Wyatt Teller and Joe Batoni. I could keep going on. Mari Cooper's not get 20-something million. If they do that, it's a wrap. So if he sits out, maybe it gets better 2 weeks. At least the season is not completely lost because you can come back and jump back in. And make sure, let me get to the super chat down here too, because we always get those. Tommy Gallucci. Kevin is simply unable to run the ball and use what's ST? I can't remember. Use ST to utilize the field position and lean on the defense. It's maddening because that's what Tomlin and Harbaugh do. That's exactly what they do. And that's what the Baltimore Ravens did to beat us. They exactly did that. He just has a problem with doing that. And it's just maddening and frustrating to say the least. When we come back, we're going to get into this. I think, not everybody played well. We didn't give the defense a pass, but the defensive line played way better than the offensive line. And we're going to come back and I'm going to let you know why. We got a special clip that I think somebody really put it even better than I could put it. And we'll come back and talk about that on the other side. It is G. Bush in the Barbershop here for about another half hour here on the UCS YouTube channel. All right, so let's get to this, man. If you are going to be in the barbershop, you got to talk about, guess what? Who's the official barber of the barbershop? That's my man Jason at Phenomenal Barbershop. I mean, if you want to call my man, shout out to him at Phenomenal. He does appointments. You can get in, get out. You can check it out on the internet. Phone number is 216-385-8861 for Phenomenal Barbershop. They're out here and they're out there in West Side in Lakewood. Address 11827 Detroit Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio, 44107. The great part about Jason and them out there, big Browns fans. The shop is low key. They always got the big screens on. They're talking about the Browns, getting everything going. They keep me crispy, keep me up to shape. And you got to be looking good when you talk about the barbershop. So shout out to Phenomenal Barbershop in Lakewood. If you really want to get a cut, get a fresh cut, they can call and book that appointment today. Once again, 216-385-8861. Phenomenal Barbershop. The Barbershop. Oh, the Barbershop. All right, I got a little clip here. I want to use this clip a little bit. Shout out to by the way, shout out to you guys, man. You guys been cooking with me. 324 people in here right now for me. Hit that like button for your boy. Stop playing around. G Bush got the plushest setup in the game. Ain't nobody doing it like this. And come sit in my chair. Come hang out in the chair. G Bush, we're on air. Let's rock and roll. We here with you for about another 20 so minutes. I wanted to get into this. This clip right here is from Jake Burns, and shout out to them at the Orange and Brown Report. Jake was on today, and he was talking a little bit, and I texted him a little bit today about what was going on about the playbook. But I thought he had a really good quote about what it has been with Nick Chubb. Right, we've looked at Nick Chubb and how he's really worked and made people look better. And I believe that Nick Chubb has made the offensive line look better as well as Kevin Stefanski, and he might have been using it as a crutch. And I thought this was a great clip right here. Hold on.
But the biggest part of when they've been their best is number 24. Yeah. Either creating, producing, and then taking things that he gives you and working off of those things that he gives you. You no longer have that crutch to lean on. Whereas you have two linebackers meet him in the hole, but he makes somebody miss and turns 6 yards into 56 yards, or whatever he does that is so unique that keeps your offense on schedule. So without that crutch, you now have put yourself in a position where you want the crutch, but the crutch is gone, and there is no crutch replacement because you haven't invested in the crutch replacement that you needed to invest in to become the version of this whole thing that you wanted it to be down the road. So they're in a terrible spot right now. This offense, it's hard to see them rewriting the whole thing.
I thought that was shout out to Jake Burns, Orange and Brown Report. Make sure you go follow them. He always has a breakdown, and he's one of the guys I trust when it comes to breaking down film. He always has it all 22, and I texted him earlier, and then I saw that, and he had it on Twitter, and I think that was a big thing. When you talk about it, he talks about a crutch, right? And this is the problem that I've had when I argue a lot with people about run versus pass, run versus pass, right? It's one of those things where a lot of times we project who we think we are, right? In our head, we construct this beautiful world of who you are as an individual. And to be truthful, a lot of times that beautiful thought process in your head is way off. That's why mirrors were created, right? Everybody don't know that they getting fat, right? You just don't know you put on a couple pounds. But that mirror is always right there to be like, no, you might want to stop eating and get in that mirror, right? You might want to get on that treadmill. Everybody has this great projection of who they are. And Kevin Stefanski is projecting that he's some sort of 5-wide, air it out guru, some passing game savant. But the reality is the rest of the world, we don't see it that way, Kevin. Actually, we see you running the same old medium sauce playbook, and you trying to pawn it off on being like innovative. Like the laughable thing is, he thinks that no one understands the reason he comes out in 5 wide with 3 tight ends is because the play, right? The personnel grouping, got 3 tight ends. Who would expect you to go 5 wide with 3 tight ends? I'm going to put them out there and with DPJ and Amari Cooper. And it's going to be such a mismatch. And defenses are laughing in his face. We're all laughing in his face at home. What are you talking about, bro? You do know that the tight ends you got still ain't getting open. And then you run 5 wide and run a 3-yard hitch to Austin Hooper, or now your new crush is Harrison Bryant? It's laughable. It's laughable. These guys want to be so much without Nick Chubb. Like when I'm arguing on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, Why are you trying to make other people shine and say the only way I can win is by throwing the ball, or I want to throw the ball. I want to be Patrick. You're not Patrick Mahomes. You're not. You're not Tom Brady. Look who's won Super Bowls the last few, top 5 guys in the world all time ever. But you want to prove that you can find any quarterback, make them good, throw the ball, and win by disregarding what you have here. One of the worst things you can do as a man or a person or any spouse in any relationship is start watching what every other body you got. Start looking at somebody else's wife talking about, oh, you don't do what she do. Start looking at somebody else's girlfriend talking about, well, you better concentrate on what you got in your house. And the Browns have not done a good job of concentrating what they got on their house. And then it's so bad, they're not even aware of it. Like Jake said, they're not even aware that your team was built, set up to run the football and run play action and do some things out off of that. You don't have no dynamic 6'5" monster receivers. You ain't got no DK Metcalfs and Stephon Diggs and you don't got those guys. It's no knock to the guys you got, but you have to play to their strengths. But not for us. Nope. And the crazy part he said was like, they're using it as a crutch. And the problem is you haven't even invested in the backup crutch. That was tough. You didn't feel there was a need for another crutch because you thought you was walking on your own. See, it's funny when them training wheels get taken off. Them training wheels get took off, all of a sudden, now you got to manufacture something on your own. Them 6-7 yards that Nick Chubb was busting his tails for to keep you on schedule to be third and medium, you don't look like such a big genius now. Because now you got young running backs. And y'all brainwash us into thinking about that. The fact that I even argue with somebody and arguing back and forth and whether Nick Chubb was going to get another contract or you don't pay a running back. You pay who you got. You pay for what you got, not what you want to be. Because if they really wanted to be somebody, what's the name say? If you want to be somebody, you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Shout out to Sister Act. You got rid of Kareem Hunt. You talk about we going and laughable. We can't pay Amari Cooper all this money. The best receiver you got. What receivers have you ever developed? I'll wait. Webster Slaughter? Reggie Langhorne? What receivers is just falling out the trees for the Cleveland Browns? I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. Let's get to your comments. You guys got a lot of comments. I know you do. Where we at with it? Show me. Okay, I think it's so sad it's not funny. I know he's 3 on the progression, but damn, Kev. And please stop like Brian is baby Gronk or something, man. I don't get it, Chris P. I mean, listen, I've been a joke on this place before. I said, let me find out that they related. Let me find like, is he in the family? Like, did they do like a DNA test and was like, yeah, ancestry.com got us at we third cousins. We both come from, I don't get it. Matthew Stafford ain't a top 5 ever. Here's the thing, Bobby G. When Matt Stafford won that Super Bowl, look what they had. They had Cooper Kupp, 1,800. Odell Beckham Jr. is playing out of his mind. They had better protection than Whitworth. They had a couple of running backs that was able to do it. And they had the most dominant player ever to play defensive tackle and Von Miller on the same, and Jalen Red. See how it go? If you ain't got to have the coldest of all time. if you got complementary pieces and parts that you're working with. If you got one of the all-time defensive players, you ain't got to go out there and throw 75 touchdowns. It's a little easier. But you can't, you got to have things, and you got a play caller that's one of the he took golf to the Super Bowl. He's an A+ play caller. So you can get more out of people. But don't think that just because Stafford done threw for like 5,000 times. Let's not act like we ever had nobody throwing for none of that. I'm just saying. Let's see. Now we need a backup quarterback and running back. You're right for that. Our Raw Dogs, this team is built on power run concept, not the run and shoot. If they wanted to do that, they could have. See, this is not my problem. They could have. If they wanted to say, we're going to throw the ball and air it out, they should have been literally talking about Jerry Jeudy. They should have been talking about DeAndre Hopkins. They should have been talking about getting guys like that, if that's what they wanted to be. But they didn't tell us that. They said we fine with what we got. So, I mean, you don't have an identity right now. If Kevin has such a boner over the numbers, do you think he realizes that everyone knows what he's doing to just by looking at his numbers? He's so far. It's so funny, man. He really feels like I think that's a disease too. Like it's like somebody where you feel like you look in the mirror and you see somebody else. I don't know what it's called, but he really feels like he looks and sees. I mean, he's Lindy and Afani. He's McVay. He's Shanahan. And at least Shanahan, think about this. At least Shanahan say this: I'm gonna run the ball, and I'm gonna run the ball from every angle, and we're gonna get it done that way. He actually committed to the game. Just commit. Just commit. A Rude Dog G says, everyone was assuming that Deshaun Watson would make our receiver group better than they are. And my thing was, I wasn't saying that Donovan Peoples-Jones is not serviceable. I'm not saying Elijah Moore is garbage. These guys can come and play and do a good job, right? But here's my thing. You have to be real with yourself too, right? Don't you at least have to be kind of real with yourself and say, all right, look, Deshaun, he wants to throw the ball and he wants to go 5 wide or do whatever the case that is. You got to have receivers to do that. You got to have protection time. And to be truthful, our offensive line has not been protecting well. Jedrick Wills, God bless his soul. I'm not going to speak on Jed anymore. I just hope for the best out there. I don't have any high hopes for it. Just my hands off of that. I gotta worry about the other people because I'm looking at Wyatt Teller and he's regressed in his pass blocking. Joe Bitonio has not looked good in his. Ethan Poches has not looked good. Right. The messed up part is DeJuan Jones has looked the best out of the guys that we have. And that's the part when you hear the announcer say the Cleveland Browns are built for running the ball. So it's hard to ask them to drop back in pass protection every play with a rookie guy. It's tough. If he wants the credit, so damn his playmakers, i.e. Hunt. Okay, I see what you bringing up. It do seem like wasn't it funny? Wasn't it funny that they just dropped Kareem Hunt and picked him back up? I always thought that they knew Kareem Hunt can play. Oh, he lost a step. He lost. The way they threw Odell Beckham Jr., they cut him for free. Chubb, we only gonna run him 16 to 18 times. That's sickening. Oh man, this is kind of crazy. Hey, nobody plans for their backup rookie. Look, I'll say this. You might want to get on the phones and get you a grown man back there. No disrespect, not saying DTR. When I mean grown man, I mean guys who've seen disguise blitzes, understand where the pressure's coming from. Might not be able to throw it accurately 100% of the time, but it's going to give me throws. You cannot have a quarterback with a shoulder injury and you have a rookie quarterback, because here's the thing: you asking a rookie quarterback to shoulder the rest of the 53-man roster's season? You're going to look at Myles Garrett with a straight face and tell him DTR gives you the best chance to win a game and get to the playoffs? Good luck with that. And I already told you what's going to happen. Y'all can look at me and act like I'm crazy or whatever. And you know what? I would not blame him. And I'll say this before we get to our question to answer. It's a lot of people out here that think that Joe Thomas, everything was hunky-dory and everything was great. And golly gee, Joe, I look at Joe Thomas and I see that passion in his eyes. He a Hall of Famer, but you know it hurts when you never even have a chance at the playoffs. You never get to sniff the playoffs. You can't even talk to your kids about the playoff atmosphere. That's what you play the game for, to win championships. That's what you put your body on the line for, is to win championship, not to sit around and play toy soldiers with Kevin Stefanski and make him feel good about his terrible offense. Sit around with Joe Woods and act like he knows how to call plays. That ain't what you do as a player. And so if I'm Myles Garrett, if I'm a person that is already leads your franchise in sacks, if you don't make the playoffs, you're damn skippy. I'm coming up here and say, trade me tomorrow. Bye. And if you're a Browns fan and you really are about football, understand Browns knowledge, and you understand the game, you wouldn't have one problem with it, because you can't play around with the prime of people's careers and they going out there. I look at Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb might never get no opportunity. Never get an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, go deep in the playoffs. He watching these rest of these bums get their money off and go to the playoffs. But we sitting around here telling us why Kevin Stefanski deserves 7 more chances. He been here 5 years. Don't no grown man want to hear that in the locker room. Y'all can hear that and do that in the pubs, in the bars. You can have all of the fake, just conservative, just stick to the script and keep doing what we're doing. Y'all can do that. They don't have that. I'm just here to give it to you. I'm telling you. They don't go to the playoffs. Myles Garrett's up out of here. Good luck finding another one. Remember, I told you that. And I'm just trying to give it to you straight. So when you choose, do you want Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett, or a below average coach that don't know how to call plays? Because you can find one of them on every tree. I can find one of them tomorrow. Can't find an elite pass rusher. Can't find an elite running back. I'm just saying. And this is for the people that are delusional. I think a lot of people in here understand what's good for the game and what they understand with, but some people need that reality check. You are not that close. You're a couple hits away from people being done for the year. That's football for you. That's it. You need that wake-up call. Come on now. Come on. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to our last break. We get our question and answer. Get your questions ready. Get your questions ready. Make sure you got your question ready. Super chat's available. But first, I want to tell you about this. You already know what it is. We're not giving it away yet. We're not giving it away yet. We want to shout out to our winners, man. See, G. Bush always talking, man. Listen, man, the Kool-Aid Mafia is alive and well, man. Ain't got nothing to do with no wins and losses. Kool-Aid Mafia is ready. These are the people that join the Kool-Aid. When you join the mob for life. Jameson Meyer, Bowling Green, we appreciate you. Derek Downtown Dansby, yes, sir. Andrea Russo, Emma Lewis, Brianna Zimmerman, Mark Mantilla, Matt Cantor, and Tanisha Salters are all in the Kool-Aid Mafia. So you could definitely get it together with the Kool-Aid Mafia. Let me go ahead and do this. You can definitely, if you want. So we fixed some different things. We got the new white Kool-Aid Mafia out there. I know some people ordered it. It said it was offline. It was out of line. We got a new supplier. The white ones are up and available. We also, I ain't going to tell you yet. Actually, I will tell you. So guess what we got? You know, Kool-Aid Mafia is everywhere. Let me just show you what we got. Let me take this banner down. Where I'm at. Move out the way so I can see this. That's what we got. The brand new Kool-Aid Mafia snapback. You see how that looks beautiful. You got the snapback. You got the Kool-Aid Mafia on this joint. Look at it. G. Bush always got something. Look at that. That's embroidered. That's stitched on there beautifully. Those hats are now available right now. Bushline Beauty as well. And we got some new colors coming out and there's some other things coming that we got special. So definitely check it out tomorrow. Excuse me, not tomorrow, Wednesday. Wednesday, we will be giving out another 2 shirts. So you know how you got to do. You got to watch on Wednesday to get the code word, and we'll be watching on here on the Barbershop. So make sure y'all keep it locked. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll tell you the code word so you can win another shirt here, courtesy of G. Bush and the Barbershop. Let's get to our final segment of the day. It is our Q&A. So we got to do some question and answer from the chat. We'll get into it. It could be anything you guys want. Don't have to necessarily be about the Browns. We can get to it. Let's get to some of the people in the Q&A. Let's see what we got. Oh, man. Matt Begg, thank you so much for the super chat. What's better about McVay's play calling? What I like about McVay's play calling is this. He has multiple different plays that he runs out of the same formation. So what he does, everything that he does looks the same. From his wide zone, from his packages that he has when he's running deep seam routes in the 4 wide receiver, and when it comes to his play action. My problem that I always have with Kevin Stefanski, and let me take this down because it's a little annoying. My problem that I always have with Kevin Stefanski is he'll come out in a formation, and see if you guys notice this as well. He'll come out in a formation, and the only time Marquise Goodwin is in on the formation is when he's running deep. What the heck is that? We know what route Marquise Goodwin is going to run. But if you had Marquise Goodwin on more routes, but he was not the primary target, teams couldn't load up and have 2 safeties back. When you scheme in plays and have a progression, everything that looks the same, it makes it very difficult for you to sit on the outside zone. It makes it difficult for you to stop the play action. It makes it difficult because you got so many different plays that you're calling out of the same formation, and he'll run off 5 or 6 in a row. The same action. There's no progression with Kevin Stefanski. It's just random plays. And I don't even know what is the identity of the Browns on offense. A bunch of random stuff. We don't know. Let's see if we got some things. Daniel Beck, it's observed to me that the air in the stadium while DTR was being murdered out there was not really felt. Every dude's own teammates looked absolutely deflated and sorry for him. Ravens were feasting. It was an old-fashioned butt whooping. Old-fashioned butt whooping. You funny. You funny. I'm gonna stop. I'm not reading your name. Can't expect DTR to play like Watson. The whole problem is play calling. We have a run blocking line, yet the coach calls 5 wide plays for a rookie against the Ravens. Hey, that's it. That's it. Hit that like button. Stop playing around. G. Bush, I'll be very surprised if they get rid of Stefanski unless it is a complete shipwreck before the season ends, and almost shaking my hand. Listen, I'm not advocating for them to fire him. What I'm saying though is Kevin Stefanski has a lot to be worried about. He should be understanding certain moves that he should be making right now. And they got to say, listen, if you want to call a certain style of game, that they have to go get another quarterback to run that stuff. You can't keep asking DTR to run that in just in case Deshaun ain't out there. It's crazy to me. It's crazy, man. SZR429 says when Kevin has a rookie had the rookie pass more than Lamar Jackson in the first half, you knew it wasn't going to be going to get better. No screen passes, no running from the gun. Kevin is the zero version of Woods. That's another thing. I talked to Jake Burns, and I'm gonna keep it real. No shotgun running. When the Browns are in shotgun, they can almost just load up on just pass. They're not running nothing out of the gun. Let's see. How long Kevin Stefanski been here? Somebody check that for me. Kevin Stefanski. I'll look it up. How long he been with the Browns? He coached 2020. What is it? Was he in 19? I don't know. We got one of those. We got the Kool-Aid, we got the Kool-Aid Mafia trucker hats too. Go check that out in the joint. Yes, sir. I think G. Bush, that Watson needs the Kool-Aid Mafia snapback. He would throw bombs. Hey, Deshaun, if you're listening, we'll send you that snapback. We can get it to you. We'll get it to you, bro. He been here 4 years. Okay. I was wrong. 4 years. This is 4th season. All right, 4 years. Let's see. Jose says, without Chubb, Stefanski will be exposed. Open the playbook. Everyone knows what this high school playbook is going to do. I will say this, man. We actually went over. When we appreciate you guys staying here. This is what happened when you're in the barbershop. Sometimes you go over a little bit. we over a little bit, but I will say thank you for every 295 people. Thank you for being with me here in the barbershop. We come back on Wednesday. We'll be a little more positive. We'll talk about some different things, maybe get into some Cavaliers. We got the bye week coming up. So if you want to know, give me some suggestions. Hit me up at GBush91 if you got some suggestions of what you guys want to talk about on Wednesday. But we'll see you at the same place, same time. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. is the regular joint. So come 3 p.m., 4 p.m., be ready to go here in the barbershop. Hit me up at GBush91 and let me know what exactly you guys want to talk about. But as for me, it's your boy G Bush. You never know where you're going to see me, but you know what you got to do? Listen for the Clippers. Peace.